Mike Bird, what's up? How you doing, man? About bloody time. What are you talking about? What am I, 2 minutes late? Christ, come on. Really? Holy crap. I'm not even sure I was 2 minutes late. Wow. So what's going on, Mike? Anything good? You're flying? You got crappy weather? I think we hit 91 degrees today. But nice day today. Gonna fly in 6 hours, weather permitting. Good for you. It'll probably be raining here in 6 hours for me. Not sure what time. Yeah, let me look real quick. I'm not on camera because I'm finishing my dinner. I'm here. Hello. 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 I'm just off camera. All right. So, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow? What time are they forecasting the rain? Let's see. Not going to be very warm tomorrow. About 68's the high. They're not telling me about the rain. What are they saying here? Mostly clear, mostly clear. Clear. Mostly clear. Heavy rain. 9 a.m. That kills the car show. Well, it's only going to rain for an hour. I mean, at 10 it's back to mostly clear, no rain. There's a car show tomorrow from 10 to 1. Me and my buddy might go to it. We're not sure yet. Kind of waiting to see what the rain's going to do. Interesting, though. Where is my Home Depot package that was supposed to come today? Hold on a second. Let me check that real quick, and I'll get back to the chat. Somebody else popped in. Who's here? Johnny Graham. What's up? How you doing, man? Looks like it's just Mike and Johnny right now. Let me see if I can look at my stats over here. Yeah, just the two of you. Okay. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Here we go. Hang on. Well. Your Home Depot order has been delivered. Oh yeah? Where'd they fucking deliver it at? Well, yeah, it's supposed to be on my front porch, but I don't think it was there. All right, excuse me, guys, for a minute. I'm gonna go check something. Be right back. Okay, I did get a delivery today. It was on the front porch. So we'll do an unboxing here in a little bit. How about that? Yeah. Nothing too exciting, but it'll be a surprise. Jeff in Lower Alabama, what's up? Wild Bill, what's going on? How you guys doing? Let's see who else popped in while I was picking up my package. I think that's it. Yeah, it looks like that's it. What are we up to now? We're up to 4 in the chat. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I found it. I went and looked online to see, you know, they have proof of delivery, and they take a picture of it, so... And it's on the front porch, so I went and looked, and yep, there it was. So... Working on a gangster car, Nick? No, not really. It's a Pontiac G8. 3D printed. And I did paint the 300. As a matter of fact, hey, I want to go get that because it's way prettier than this. Let me get that real quick. It's right here. I used the wrong paint, but that's okay because this is just the first layer. I got to wet sand this smooth. And then I'll put the right color on. But it's silver, but it's kind of a chrome looking silver. So, and that's okay. It'll all work out in the wash. So, but yeah. So the wheels, now the wheels are pretty good. Yeah, the nose pretty good. Oh boy, that's too shiny. You can't even see it. Man. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we gotta get to that. So you can barely see that line on the hood now. So I can probably sand that out of it. I'm trying to get, so you can see it here. Probably maybe like this. No, that makes it worse. Maybe like this. Well, pretty hard to see it. I don't think you can feel it, but you can just barely see it. So we'll finish sanding that out. Other than that, the 300's in pretty good shape. This just needs just a fine wet sand. I've got to repair this mirror here a little bit. You can't see it on camera, but this mirror here's got a little problem. Eric, what's up? Good to see you, buddy. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can put it here. Are you uploading another video, Eric? Is that what you did? You did it and videoed it? These are just displays, Nick. They're 3D printed, not radio control or anything. I don't have a Crysler 300. My buddy has one, so and this is an SRT8 version of it, and that's what he has. And his is silver, but not metallic silver. This is chrome. This is the craziest paint. When it's on a perfectly smooth surface, it really looks like chrome. What you see in the camera almost looks like chrome. It's so reflective. I missed a question here, I guess. Hang on a minute. Let me go back up. So, Jeff, what covering are you using? Um, and what is it? The fabric looking, or is it smooth? A covering from Value Hobby. Really? No kidding. Is it their brand or? Yeah, Eric, if you accidentally hit the premiere box, it probably set the date and time for tomorrow. So, you usually have to override it to get it to go today, if the time is getting close. It'll do it, but you got to override it. It'll default to tomorrow. Value Hobby brand. That's interesting. Definitely let us know how that comes out, Jeff. That's really interesting. I can't believe Monocoat went out of business. They've been in the hobby longer than me, and I can't believe they went out of business. Grayson Hobby's going out of business? Oh, shit. Yeah, they just moved to a new location, too. Yeah, that's true, though. Yeah, you're right. Not a lot of building going on anymore. But repairs still happen, so you still need building skills if you're buying wood airplanes. Even if you buy a ready to fly wood airplane and you break it, you gotta be able to fix it. So you still need some wood skills and covering skills, and yeah, they'll definitely come in handy. I haven't been following Grayson Hobbies lately. Did they move into a bigger place when they moved, or a smaller place? What did they end up doing? Philip, what's up? Good to see you, man. Wiggs! How you doing, Wiggs? Jeff, how far of a drive is it from you to Atlanta? $4 plus an hour you lose. But then it's only 3 hours coming back. Hey. Oh. Yeah, plus it's downhill. There you go. Yeah, since you're in lower Alabama. Yeah, it's all downhill, too. Look at the gas savings on the way home. Just put the car in neutral and coast. Downhill both ways. Yeah, there you go. Now you used to have to walk uphill both ways to school and home in the snow. Ah, there's my X-Acto knife. Okay. Craig B. Bennett, what's up? How you doing, man? Drifting? Mike Bird, you do drifting? Really? Oh, yeah, yeah. They, especially in places that don't have snow removal equipment. Yeah, exactly. If it even looks like snow, but not up in Not up in Cleveland. They don't care if it snows. You're going to school. Alright, let me see if I can move this window over just a little bit. Maybe not. Nope. Can't move the window. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Nope. Not the little window. Can't resize it. Oh well. Okay. No big deal. Alright, so let me go back to the other camera now. And here I am. Ta-da! Hey, you asked for it! Yeah, that was my next question, Phil. Yeah, what kind of drift car do you have? Are these RC cars, Mike, or real cars? I was thinking you were talking real cars, but now it's sounding more like a RC car. So what are we talking about here? So who is this lady we speak of? You haven't told us anything about that. What's going on? Let me think if I have a way to elevate that slightly. No, it doesn't have to be slightly. Just do it like this. Trying to get the glare off of it, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. She's a purple head person? Okay. The M5, Eric. This neither one of these are M5s. This is and they're both the 3D print files. I printed these cars. This is a Chrysler 300 SRT8 is what this is. Give it a little 3 view here. Nice big exhaust pipes on the back. Yeah, we're getting there on them. They're both getting close. This one's close to a wet sand and a final coat of paint. I still have a lot more work to do on the G8. I just printed the G8. Oh, the Mach 5, the G here, this one. Horizon has it. It's ready to run. Comes with this is the radio. You have to supply your own batteries. It takes 4 AA's, 2 in the car and 2 in the radio. But yeah, it was 50. I think they're $57. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And it's quite a bit smaller than the Mach 5 that's up here. Oh, too far. This one over here. Yeah. So that's a much bigger Mach 5. But yeah, it's yeah, for $57 ready to run, I couldn't pass it up. It's cute. I'm a big Speed Racer fan. This might be a little too big for your train city. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Wacky Races, they were hilarious. I love that show. Yeah, is your stuff giant scale, Eric, or is it like O scale, like Lionel size? Oh, it's giant scale. It is giant scale. You know what? That might be the right size for the giant scale. Yeah. Yeah, that would probably look pretty good. Yeah. They have a whole bunch of these cars for the $57, this size. I mean, a whole bunch. A lot of race cars, civilian cars. They got a big selection of cars, so you can definitely find something. Yeah, it's got suspension too. Look at this. Back too, but there's more throw in the front. So I guess with the batteries in it, I think it's sprung a little too hard. Probably need to cut a loop out of that spring. Now the one up here is 24th scale, I think. This one's smaller than that. This one's probably, God, I don't know what that is. Probably, it might be 24th scale. think 64 is matchbox size. So half of that would be 32. I don't know. I think that's probably... This is probably close to 32 scale, maybe. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure. It could be 24th. It's one of those areas where, it kind of depends on the car. A lot of times, they compare a Volkswagen Beetle to say a big Hummer truck, and if they're both 18 inches long, then they're both 24 scale. Like a Beetle is the same size as a Hummer. They don't take that into consideration a lot of times when they're scaling this stuff. So yeah, not real accurate. So is it about set? No, it's not 7 inches. This one's only about. This one's probably about 5 inches. I have a tape measure here somewhere. Where did I just put that? Oh, going down. Yeah, I think this is about 5 inches. If I was to guess. Yeah. So this is 300 millimeters. Okay, straight up. And this is a Mach 5 next to it. So you do the math. 300 millimeters, just slightly over half. And yeah. So if you take 300 millimeters and convert it to inches, that'll give you pretty close. And then maybe add an inch. Well, maybe not quite an inch. But yeah. Lewis, what's up? How come you took the snitches off? What happened? Hey, that AI video you did of me and Tony flying up into the sky and then running forward and tripping over our airplane, and did you do that yourself or did somebody do that for you? How did that happen? What did you do to do that? You did it on Grok. Okay, whatever Grok is. Yeah. Okay, so I think it was Mike Bair that was giving me crap that these cars weren't painted, so they're painted now. So this one's pretty rough. You can see a lot of in the roof here, even though it feels pretty smooth. That is still a texture you can see. So I'm gonna take some of the red Bondo putty and smear it all over this car to fill in all the edges and all the bad spots, and then do a final sand on this, put another coat of paint on it, wet sand it, and it should be about ready. This one just needs wet sanding. It's this one's pretty smooth. It's we just have to kind of do just a little bit of final prep work on this one, and then I can put the final coat of paint on it and paint the wheels and the tires, the headlights, the tail lights, the windows, and then give it to my buddy. So, and then these, I don't know if I'm going to do any painting on these. These were kind of test beds. That's a Challenger. That came out pretty good, actually. The grill works pretty good. You can't see it in there, but the headlights are in there. The grill's in there. It came out pretty good. The fog lights in the lower part of the grill. See, this one, it didn't come out worth a crap because there's no infill in this. This thing's completely hollow. So when it was standing up like this, printed the walls and everything fine, no problem. But when it had to go across the grill, since there was no infill inside to support it, it just started, there was no place for the filament to hang on to. So eventually it started layering onto something, but it's terrible. It's all holy and yeah, it didn't come out good at all. When I did this, I didn't think about that. When I printed this with no infill, I didn't think I needed any. I knew it would do the windows okay, and it did. They're fine because of the angle. I know, the machine can handle an angle like this, no problem. Okay, but when it's straight across, flat, then you have to have some kind of support. So I just wanted to just didn't want to waste filament on support that I didn't need. Well, it turned out I did need something, not much, So there's not a lot of support in here. This is only about maybe 5%. Yeah, it's not a lot of support, but it was enough though, because the grill came out perfect, so it worked perfect. So that worked out good. So yeah, so we're getting there. The windshield on this was in pretty bad shape, and the back glass too. This one really needed a lot of work. It still does. You can't see most of it. The sides here, oh, that's a good shot. The sides are very ripply, going across. So I gotta fix all that. And then And then, of course, all the layer lines that are in the top surfaces all have to be sanded out. Especially, the circle under the roof here, and then you can see the lines here. The lines on the hood aren't showing up as much because I've been sanding the shit out of the hood. So those lines they're there, but they're not showing up like the trunk lid. I haven't done any sanding on the trunk lid, so you can still see the lines in the trunk lid. So. But anyway, yeah, we're getting there. Coming along, coming along. Yeah, that's usually how it works, Mike Bird. It usually takes one go-getter to make everything happen. I'm one of those guys too. I started 2 different car clubs, and if I don't keep them going, they just fizzle out. Yeah, Mike, it's kind of a lot of work. It just depends. This one I'm doing for a friend of mine who his health depleted, and he had to sell his 300. So this is me making him a nice display piece of what he used to have, so he can hang on to it. And he doesn't know I'm making this. This could be a total surprise for him. So I want this to look really good. I'm going to put all the details. I'm going to paint the taillights in it, the windows, and detail the rotors, the calipers. I'm going to do it up pretty nice for him, so he can keep it, looking good. The G8 I'm doing up a lot because I'm going to put it, when I take the G8 to the car shows, I want to be able to display this with it. And I'll either put it on the hood, not on the hood, but under the hood, on the engine cover. I usually will display it on there like this, or maybe this way, or I may put it on the roof of the car. It just depends. So I want this to look good too, And then something I was gonna like this. I printed that sit on the shelf behind me. So this is plenty good enough for that. I could do the windows. I did the windows. I did the windows on this one with a magic marker. I just took a Sharpie and drew the windows on this one, which looked fine. From this distance. And be on the shelf. So, and I'll probably end up painting the wheels on this, so they're not black. I hate black wheels. So that's what I did on this one. I painted the wheels on this one. But yeah, it's it's a labor of love. What are you gonna do? It's fun, it's a hobby, But a lot of stuff that I print, you don't have to, like all the vases are done. They come out perfect. You don't have to do anything to those. The Iron Man mask didn't need any attention either. The helmet, I painted the helmet. It probably was pretty close. It needed a little work, but most of it came out. It printed beautifully. It was just the very top, because it was upside down, and there was support that left a ring similar to this in support on the very top of the helmet. So then I had to clear that up. So that's why I ended up painting it. But yeah, a lot of the stuff you print, you don't have to do anything with. It looks great. Just like the articulating dragons come out perfect. You don't do anything with those. Just weed off the support. On my one what, Mike? On my panel lines. Oh, they're there. Yeah, the panel lines are all here. On all of these. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, the door lines are not on this model, come to think of it. Yeah, I never noticed that before, but there's no door lines. The door handles are here, but they don't have the lines. Yeah, I never noticed that before. Let me look at the one that's not painted. I don't think I painted over them. Let me look. Yeah, no, there's no door lines there. I didn't paint over them. Yeah, that one doesn't have that kind of detail on it. This thing, I think I did in 15% infill. God, this thing is heavy as shit. This thing weighs a ton. With all that infill in it, you know, I don't think I reset the 15%. And I mean, this thing is heavy. God, I think it took almost a whole spool of black to print this because of all the infill. And you just don't need it. What a waste that was. But this thing weighs a ton. So, now I can use that for a wheel chalk on the real car. It would definitely stop the car from rolling. No problem. The car I just showed. So the panel lines are on this. Yeah, both of these. Yeah, the door seams are there. The bumper cover lines are very faint, but they're there on this one. This one has everything on it. The door, the window, all the window trim, the trim on the side of the fenders where there's a little insert light that goes there. It's like a running light. The gas cap is here. Yeah, this has everything. This has got the bumper cover lines are there. There's a hint of where the tail lights are. You know, make it easy to cover it. You know, all the grill work. Yeah, this has got a lot of detail in it. And this has got a lot of detail in it except for the doors. They don't have door seams, but there's a lot of detail in the grill work in the front here, and the headlights, fog lights, and then there's these little canard wings on the corner of the car here. On the corner there's these little canard wings, you know, for aerodynamic stuff, and the wheels. You know, the rotor. There's a rotor in there, and there's a caliper around the rotor. That's inside the wheels. That's hard to see in here. Once I get it painted, you'll be able to see it. So, yeah, and it's got a sunroof that's partially opened. This one. So they did everything pretty good on this one, except the door. And I can put them on. That's easy. And I can take an X-Acto knife and just, you know, put the line on there. So, and I might do that, actually. You know, just before the final coat of paint, I might take an X-Acto knife and literally cut a door line there. So, yeah, exactly, Philip. It depends on the file. You know, I've got one I did of the G8. The file was so detailed, it doesn't put glass in the windows. It printed the whole interior. The seats, the center console, steering wheel, the turn signal indicator. It printed everything, you know, and it come out really terrible because of the filament I used, and I didn't dry the filament, but I didn't want the interior. You know, I thought I had sliced one that, you know, didn't have the interior, and it's what I thought I had done. And then when it started printing, it looked good until it hit the interior, and then it wasn't printing the windows, and it was printing the interior, and I was like, oh, God. So that came out horrible. I mean, it's so hard to weed out the interior through the window. You know, if it was printing it all separately, and there are files that do that. You know, you can get a file that's just the body, the shell, and then the whole interior, and then you assemble it. And that's the way to do it if you want an interior, because trying to weed all the support out of the inside of the car through the windows is ridiculous. I mean, it's almost impossible. And you're going to end up screwing it up anyway. And then there's really no way to get in there and sand it, you know, to smooth out the seats and, you know, the center console area and whatever little imperfections to make it smooth so you can paint it. And yeah, it would just be a nightmare. So there was a couple files I downloaded that have all the pieces separate. that you can print it that way. But I don't want one with an interior, and I don't want anything that detailed. I just buy a die cast if I wanted something with that kind of detail. You know, there's, you know, I just can't see spending the time. You want to talk about labor intensive, a lot of work? Oh yeah, that would be a lot of work. You know, to literally, yeah, they're free files. Yeah, I don't. I've only paid for one file so far, and it didn't print anyway. So I was kind of mad about that. Um, yeah, I only print free stuff. I'm not getting into anything crazy. So yeah, these were all free downloads. Um, no, I think I did pay something. Wait a minute, what did I print that I did pay for? I paid for something. It was real cheap. It was like $1.50 or something, but. I forget what it was. It really wasn't even anything that important. I don't you know, but I just decided because I wanted to try to print it. I don't think I ever finished printing it or printed it and never like finished it up like so I could display it. I don't think it was anything that good. I really can't remember what it was at the moment. But yeah. All these cars are free downloads. I didn't pay for any of those. All the vases are free downloads. The trophies, the Oscars, the bases, the Bigfoot trophies. That was all free download stuff. I didn't pay for anything there. Um, the singing dragon, that was a free download. The articulating dragons, that's all free download. Eiffel Tower, um, the Chrysler Building, Empire State Building, even the Lost in Space robot was a free download. Yeah, I haven't paid for any of these. There was something I paid for, but I don't remember what it was. It was something silly. So yeah, there's an awful lot of free files out there, and if I had to pay a lot of money for a file, it would have to be something I planned on using a print farm to print and sell, and I you know but it's just for me to play with. Yeah, I'm not going to spend money on. I mean, I probably would if it was something really important. But yeah, I can't think of anything that's been that important that I've needed to pay for a file. I know I did pay for a couple of small files, but I don't remember what they were, and I don't remember that they worked out because I never finished them. I never did anything to finish them up. Um, Actually, I think yeah, that's what it was. The G8 file that printed the interior. That's one of the ones I did pay for. It was real cheap, but yeah, I paid for that, but that was a waste of money. Yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything else. I paid for an octopus, an articulating octopus. It's super cute, and that didn't. I can't get it to print. I haven't tried it again lately. I probably need to put it back into. I probably need to run an update on the Anycubic machine because it's a multicolor octopus, so I need to use the Anycubic printer and slice it. You know, after I do an update, re-slice it and see if I can get the machine to recognize it to print it. But yeah, that's it. That's also, I think the G8 with the interior and the octopus, I think, are the only things I've paid for. Um, yeah, the shield. I didn't pay for the Captain America shield. The The batleth, the Klingon batleth, I didn't pay for that file. The Iron Man helmet, I didn't pay for that. That was all free. All that stuff's free. Pretty much everything I've printed is free. The TARDIS, you know, the Doctor Who TARDIS, that's free. Yeah, I haven't paid really for anything. That might change. I don't know. Since some other company, I forget the name of it right at the moment, but some other company bought Thingiverse. And Thingiverse is the company that had all the free files. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know if they're going to change it from free to, you know, where you have to pay for them or not. We'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, anyway. Alright, so I got an unboxing here. I ordered nothing too exciting, but I'll show you anyway. For laying, you know, I'm getting, you know, ahead of the game a little bit, but I needed a jigsaw, and I figured I'd go cordless because I don't need it for a lot. But when I start making the fine cuts for putting in the flooring upstairs in the, you know, in my man cave here, I'm gonna need a jigsaw, and I wanted one because it shares the same battery as my drill, and you know, I've got all these rigid tools that have the same battery. So I ordered this today, or the other day, and it came today. And I needed a rivet gun. So on my real G8, I'm putting a carbon fiber spoiler on the trunk lid, and it takes a zert nut on each end to screw through the hood. The rest you just tape it on, but you have to pull down the two corners with a screw, and the nut was pulled out of one of them. He probably over tightened it and pulled it out of the carbon fiber. So I wanted to put it back in, but I don't have it. So I bought one of those rivet nut guns where you can take a threaded nut that you crimp into like a rivet, like a pop rivet. You crimp it into a hole, into an aluminum frame, whatever. If you want to be able to put a bolt through something structural, you crimp it in with this tool. And it came with a whole bunch of nuts that you crimp. So that'll probably be here Monday, I think. And then I ordered one more thing too. What was the other thing I ordered? I just ordered some string for my weed eater. Nothing exciting there. But so this came today. This is my my jigsaw. This son of a gun's heavy. Man, it's really heavy. So this was the full, comes with battery and charger. One of my rigid chargers failed. So I have two of those rigid kits that come with, you get a drill and an impact driver, and two batteries and a charger. They do this at Christmas every year. So I have two sets of those. So I had 4 battery packs. Well, there's only 2 batteries back that still work, and neither one of them are working very good. But ordering this, it comes with the same battery. So I have one more brand new battery now. So I can use this in my drills, because I was using that to drill the holes when I build my walls in here. And so I was using this, and I bought a Ryobi from Lowe's. It was a drill, impact guns, I think an 8-inch circular saw, and a flashlight. And that came with 2 batteries. And that's the other tool I've been using. Wow, this thing's dead. Wow. Usually comes with, like a half charge. This has got no charge in it at all. Yeah, so I figured I'll buy this and get a new battery so I can use it for making it a little faster. Because the batteries are tired, so when you try to use them, they overheat quickly, and it shuts the drill off, and you just have to wait a couple seconds for it to recover. Then you can keep working, but every time I do that, it just slows production down. So I'll have a nice new battery now to make that work a little better. Wow, that saw is heavy. Holy shit. Damn, that thing's going to wear my ass out just... my God, that thing's heavy. Good God. Wow. Man. That's got a hell of a motor in it. I'm sure it came with at least 1 blade. I'm not sure what the hell this is. Looks like a vacuum cleaner tip. I don't know what that is. So here's the charger. So, and then this matches everything else I have. So I got screwdrivers and I've got screwdrivers and impact guns and drills that this battery will fit in. So, yeah. Okay, I see where it goes. So this is an adapter. You put it in here like this. Wow. Crazy. Okay, so it goes in the back here like this, and it is a vacuum cleaner. So you put it in there, and as you're sawing, and you have your vacuum hooked to this here, it'll suck the sawdust right through this tube, right underneath the jigsaw. So isn't that clever? Wow. So anyway, I think everything. Yeah, so there's my new rigid saber saw or jigsaw. No blades though. I suppose there's got to probably be some blades, at least 1 blade in here somewhere. I would think. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Oh, there it is. I figured it had to come with 1. Yeah, there it is right there. Alright. So we did get 1 saw blade. Yeah. Alright. So there's my new tool unboxing. Yeah, Craig, I've been using... I used to work for Home Depot back in 99, 2000, and 2001. And so that's when I was buying all... I've got a rigid bandsaw. I've got a rigid... miter box saw. And then I bought... I don't think I bought a rigid table saw, did I? I don't remember. I don't think so. And then, of course, the 2 battery, the 2 drills, the 2 impact guns. So yeah, but then I started buying some Ryobi stuff because they had a really nice chainsaw I liked. So I bought a chainsaw, and I love that thing. And it's a battery chainsaw. And then I bought a weed eater, and a um, hedge trimmer, rigid or not rigid, Ryobi. So they all use this, so they all share the same batteries. And then I bought a big kit, came with a a tote bag and everything. That came with the circular saw, a drill, an impact, a flashlight. What else? Did it come with anything else? 2 battery packs, a charger. Each one of the weed eater came with its own charger. The hedge trimmer came with its own charger, and the chainsaw. They all came with their own chargers and their own batteries, but they're interchangeable. You can take any of the batteries and put it in any of the chargers. And then this charger, this battery and charger are different than the ones I have, but the one charger took a crap, so I only have the one charger that only charges one battery at a time. So this lets me back to charging 2 batteries at a time. The other charger in this one will let me charge 2 batteries at the same time. I can only charge 1 battery at a time on the Ryobi pack. But that's okay. I'm able to rotate through them pretty good, so it's not a problem. Anyway, that's why I bought this. It was pretty cheap, and so I bought this, the rivet gun. That should be here Monday, and I think so. I bought like 300 feet of weed eater string. That's coming too, and I just had it delivered. Anymore. The self-checkouts are killing me. I don't want to do the self-checkout. I didn't go in there to work. I don't want people to lose their jobs. If you're going to use the self-checkout, you're taking a cashier's position away from somebody. The AI is going to kill all of us, guys. There aren't going to be jobs left for anybody. The way AI is taking over and the self-checkouts. So don't support it. Please don't support it. Let people keep their jobs. I don't use the self-checkout unless I have to. And I don't mean have to because they're not open. I'll walk out of the store and leave a cart full of shit there. That's how much I don't want to use it. But like when I was driving the bus, I didn't have time to wait in line to buy a snack to eat my lunch. So I would use the self-checkout to buy one item, my one item, food item. But that's the only time I ever use the self-checkout. If I'm not, if I'm just buying personal on my own time, I won't use it. If they haven't got somebody there to check me out, I just walk out. I leave the cart there and walk out. I ain't doing it. So I go across the street. Right now Lowe's still has regular checkout lines. Home Depot does not. You have to use the self-checkout at Home Depot unless you go down to the commercial desk. So if I go down, I either go down to the commercial desk or I just don't shop there, or I shop at home, and that's where it's going to too. Also, it's the brick and mortar stores are purposely trying to make you stay home. They don't want you to go to the brick and mortar stores. It costs too much money to operate them. They want you to do all your work you're buying at home. And there's nothing we can do to stop that. That's just the way they want to do it. We're going to have a world of... I don't know where you're going to go. We're not going to need cars pretty soon, guys. Everybody's going to be working from home. Whatever job you have. Manufacturing jobs are all being done with robots. So, if you do happen to have a job, it'll be from home. And, yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do. Thank God I'm not going to be around to watch the whole thing fall apart, because I'll be long dead before, we get to that point. But it's coming. All right, what else? Hey, I went to the drag strip last night. I took my Pontiac to the drag strip last night. Did okay. I haven't drag raced in 12 years. The last time I've been to the, raced at a drag strip. So I haven't forgot how to do it. I cut a .03 light, so that's 0.03 of a second. So that was a good light, and the car ran pretty good. I could have. I was hoping it would do a little better, but it did okay. 60 foot time was 2:03 on street tires, so that's not too bad. And I treat everybody that I raced, but there were some fast cars there, and the Pontiac ran I think an 890 at 81 mile an hour. So I was hoping for a little better than that. Yeah, well, that's true, Craig. Is that pretty much your specialty? You just do wheel alignments? Is that what you're not a general mechanic that does everything. You're the alignment guy. You do all the alignments that come in. And are you working at a dealership or a garage? The funny thing is on the way to the drag strip. Listen, I've been working on the G8, fixing all the little bugs, and I had all the dash lights are out except the ABS brake, and that came yesterday. The sensor for the brake, which it's on the lift right now, and when I get done with the show tonight, I'm going to go put that sensor in. So all the lights were out, everything was good, car's running perfect, no problem, everything. I got gauges for everything. Well, I don't have an oil pressure gauge. I just did an oil change in it, put new oil in it and everything, so I'm not concerned about that, but I don't know why there's no oil pressure gauge, Yeah, where you been, though, Craig? Are you at a dealer? Um, or are you at a private garage? So, yeah, well, see, that's just it. My point, Craig, is if everybody's working from home, nobody's going to need cars. So, if nobody needs cars, you're not going to be doing any wheel alignments. So, you're going to be out of a job. Not in your lifetime, but not a dealer. Okay. But if you have kids getting into the same line of work, they're going to be out of a job. It's just gonna, cars are throwaways now. If you wreck a car or hit a pothole, the insurance company's going to total it, and you get another car. So repairing them is going out the window. And I don't know if you guys watch any of the YouTube shows. I know personally that garages today have no idea how to fix cars, because people keep bringing me their cars that they just got from a garage that had no idea how to fix it. They haven't got a clue what the hell they're doing. Mechanics today don't know how to fix cars. There you go. So the personal experiences I've had, like for instance, I'm pretty well. I'm very well known in the Impala world, the 94, 5, 6 Impalas, and even in other countries. One guy brought his car from Switzerland, not for me personally, not only for me to work on it, but he picked a race shop in Florida to do something on his car that he couldn't do it where he was in Switzerland. And he picked this garage because he wanted me to tune the car. So he knew I lived close to Orlando, and he found a speed shop in Orlando that could do the work he wanted. So he had his car shipped to Orlando so that they could do the work and I could do the tuning. So he knew of me. I have people bringing me their cars from all over the state and out of state. Had one guy bring me his car from Alabama because none of the shops there could stop an oil leak. You know, simple little, just installing an oil seal correctly. They couldn't do it. They don't understand how an oil seal works, and they couldn't do it. So he brought me the car. And another guy, same thing. They put 3 Opti sparks in the car and they couldn't get the car to run. Well, and I just told him, I said, they got it in wrong. He says, no, you can only put it in one way. No, you can only put it one way that it'll run. You could put it in 2 other ways and it won't run, but it'll go in. And but it's not in right though. So I said, here's a simple test. Simple. Just take any one of those 3 legs that hold the OptiSpark into the front of the motor. I said, take the bolt out of any one of the 3. It doesn't matter. Back the screw out, and if it comes off the block, even a millimeter, it's in wrong. So he took a screw out. He goes, yep, it came right off the block. I said, yep, it's in wrong. That's why it won't run. So he brought me the car, and I told him I can fix this pretty quick. Well, how long? I said, well, I'll have it running quick. I said, but then I have to clean all the gasket surfaces to put the water pump back on and all that. So, an hour and a half. Nah, just, I'm going to leave it. I said, okay. So he got back in his car and took his trailer and he left. And I just yanked it off real quick, re-indexed the Opti in the right spot, bolted it up and started the car. And then I called him on the phone and I said, here, listen to this. And I'm revving the motor. And he goes, what's that? And I said, that's your car running. He just started laughing. He goes, you got it running already? I said, I told you it wouldn't take very long. I says, listen, just turn around. Come on back. By the time you get back here, I'll have the gasket surface cleaned. And I'll have the water pump back on and it's fixed. You can just take it home. Nah, I'm too far down the road. He says, I'll come back and get it another day. I'm like, okay. And he's coming from like Alabama. He's out of the state. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but anyway, So between oil, this guy in Tampa was in tears, literally. They had put 12 oil seals in this thing and couldn't stop the oil leak, and they had no idea why they couldn't stop the oil leak. And you need a seal install tool that they couldn't understand why they needed that, because they don't know how a seal works. So the seal if you want the seal to hold pressure, the seal has to be folded inward. Okay, and that's the way it comes out of the package. But if you're sliding it over a shaft without an install tool, which is nothing more than a sleeve, as soon as you start pushing it onto the shaft, it flops the oil seal out, and now it's going to leak. And they couldn't understand how that, they didn't know what they were doing wrong. And then he called me, says, they can't stop the oil leak. I said, don't worry, I can stop the oil leak. Just bring it to me. He says, please, are you sure? I said, listen, I guarantee I can stop the oil leak. Just bring it to me. So he did, and I fixed it. And he called me for a month every week. It's still not leaking. It's still not leaking. I can't believe it. You fixed it. You fixed it. Oh, my God. He was so excited because he didn't want to sell the car. But he couldn't deal with the oil leak. He just, and this shop had him bamboozled, for months, because he'd been going to the shop forever, I guess, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing. So, and I had a guy bring me a car. His car's been at this other guy's shop for 1.5 years, and they couldn't fix it. And I just bring it to me. So I fixed what was wrong with it instantly, but then I had to fix all the shit that they fucked up at the shop. So I got all that fixed, and then they broke his starter. It didn't come in there with a starter problem, but they broke the starter, putting a new one in. They wore the starter out trying to get the car to start. So they put a new starter in and broke the new starter when they put it in. They broke the nose off of it. So he went back and got his money back on the starter. He brought him the starter. and the nose cone was missing. Obviously, whoever put the starter and took the shield down, you know, that tin shield that goes on a Chevy that goes around the starter. The torque converter cover, and they took the starter nose, the cone that broke off, out and threw it away, and so that it wouldn't be rattling around in there. And so when he took it to him, he says, "Yeah, there's no cone. Your tech took the cone and threw it away, obviously." So he got his money back on the starter. And, yeah. So I got his car all fixed, and he took that, and so it's just almost a daily routine. Somebody brings me their car that they've been having service somewhere else, and they just screw it up. So if you can't fix it with a scan tool, they don't know how to do it. If the scan tool doesn't tell them exactly how to, so. Yeah, exactly, Craig. Yeah, I just had to buy a new scan tool too, because my old scan tool didn't have a steering wheel angle. What do they call it? An angle steering angle sensor. It had to be able to reset the steering angle sensor. What the hell is a steering angle sensor? I know what it is. I mean, it's a clock spring in the. But why? We've been driving cars for how long now that we've never needed a steering angle sensor before. What the hell do we need that for, right? So yeah, just anyway. So I had to buy a, my Dodge has a steering angle sensor in it, so I had to reset the sensor. So I had to buy a new scan tool for that. Just crazy, it's just, Oh yeah, exactly. It's not the cars that are fucking up. It's the technicians that don't know how to fix cars. They don't tell them how to. Listen, you need three things for an engine to run. You need fuel, you need air, and you need spark. Okay, those are the three things you need. You don't need a scan tool to make sure you have those three things. So, Juna, what's up? So, but they don't know how to fix a car if they don't have a scan tool. Nobody will work on my 94.5 is 95.6, 4, 5, and 6 Impala with the LT1 in it. I called 5 garages in the area, and none of them will work on the car. It's too old. They don't have a technician that knows how to work on that car, so they won't work on it. Figure that one out. And I was only calling because one of my guys that I've been fixing this car for got at least 10 years now. And he's always a pain in the ass. And I finally just told him, listen, I'm not working on your car anymore. And that's it. We're done. And I called a shop to get a quote on all the work I did on this car so that he would know how much he should have paid, not what he did pay. And 3 of the shops wouldn't even give me a quote. 2 shops said, the one shop said he has a guy, but he's out sick. But he has one guy that'll still work on the car. And the other shop, actually a friend of mine works at. I didn't know he went to work as a mechanic. And I think he has 3 Impalas. So he works on his own car. So he'll work on it. So I had his shop give me a quote just for changing the OptiSpark and the 2 front cover seals. There's a seal on the water pump drive shaft and a seal on the OptiSpark itself. There's 2 seals. So what would it cost to have the 2 seals put in and a new OptiSpark? And they charged, the quote was for $1,700. Okay? I charged my buddy $200 for the same job, and all he did was bitch. And then the next day the Opti failed. Well, I don't make the damn thing. All I do is install it. All right. So he wouldn't pay me to fix it, so I had to put another one in for free. And that's when I told him I'm not working on your car anymore. I'm done. You know, I don't care where you take it, but take it somewhere else. So he just called me the other day again, you know, but I'm not working on this car anymore. Yeah, the performance surgery on your wallet. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, and then I watch a show on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever Dave's Garage. I think he's in Utah. Have you guys ever watched this guy? He's an old school mechanic like me, and he has a giant business, and he's got all these young techs working under him. And he's teaching them all how to fix cars. Um, so it's a good show. People are bringing him cars from all over the country. He had a guy just bring him one from Alaska. Okay, they towed this truck all the way down from Alaska because the shop up there couldn't fix it. So and the same thing, you know, he's all these other shops don't know what they're doing. All they're doing is tearing shit up, and the customer just doesn't know what else to do. Oh no! So they bring it to Dave. Well, I wonder what broke on that. My G8 just fell off the table. Let's make sure the mirrors aren't broke. No, they're okay. Well, other than that, this is going to break. I'm sure it's fine. The only thing that's delicate are the mirrors, and these aren't really. These are on here really good. These mirrors are very delicate. These break right off. As a matter of fact, I printed this car in one size smaller than this, and the mirrors broke off instantly just trying to remove the support because the little stock here that the mirror is mounted on was so small that you just touch it and it broke. And these mirrors didn't even print on this one. I made these mirrors out of my Gorilla Glue. Okay? All I had was stocks. The mirrors didn't print. Okay? So I just I mixed up some of my Gorilla Glue and water deal, and I put it all on here, and I had two ping pong balls. It looked like Mickey Mouse's car. There were two ping pong balls out here like this. And then I just whittled them down into mirrors. And they come out really good. They look good on there. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with those. They came out pretty good. I don't even see where the impact where it hit the floor. It didn't leave a mark. Not that I could see. Didn't break the spoiler on the trunk lid either. Yeah. Yeah, this came out all right. Yeah, this broke. This broke the mirror. This fell down once too. It broke this mirror, but I repaired it. Now I just have to do a little fill in it, and it cracked the spoiler on the trunk lid. So I glued that, and I glued this. So now in the final stages here, I'll putty that in and fix it. And but yeah, they're coming out all right. A lot of the problem with these cars today, the engineering too. Oh my God, they're just doing the stupidest shit when they engineer these cars today. It's just I don't know what they're thinking. These engineers today, I don't know where they learned to be engineers, but they ain't very good at it. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Yeah, and it's you know um yeah on the Impala. on the LT1, I just use a soda can, and I roll it up into a sleeve, okay, and I slide it inside the seal, and then I slide the can over the shaft, and then just slide the seal off the can onto the shaft. That's the way I've been doing it for years, and it works fine. But a lot of guys have told me if you take a Sharpie pen cap and take a razor blade and cut the pocket clip off of it, they say that works really good too. I've never done one with the Sharpie pen cap. I've always just used a soda can, but yeah, I could see that working too, you know. But yeah, you have to maintain the seal in the inward position before you slide it over the shaft, and the only way to do it is with an installing tool. And they make a tool you can buy, but it's the same. It's exactly what we're using. I mean, it's the same principle, and you put it inside the seal, and then you slide it over the shaft. You know, it ain't rocket science. I mean, anybody who knows anything about how a seal works knows that you can't just push it on over the shaft. It's going to flop it outward, and then you can't put pressure behind it. The seal will just push away from the shaft, and oil comes out. So, you know, you can't pressurize a seal that's in that position. So, yeah, it's just crazy today. I'm so glad at a young age I knew I was going to be a car guy, and then I was going to be fixing my own cars. So I don't have to worry about. I've never taken my car in for service anywhere. I refuse to let somebody else fuck up my car. Well, I take that back. I did, like I said, I did have the tranny work done, and it's not right. And I keep forgetting to call him. I called him one day, and he texted me back. He'll call me back, and he didn't. So, but I think I have my tranny. I think the problem is the valve body. And so I just need to call him and say, listen, I think I figured out what's wrong. You know, because we had a good long talk, and he described all the parts in my tranny, so he remembered it. So I think I got my tranny back, but I think he must have changed the valve body. And I think he didn't realize it had a shift kit in it. So he probably, on a GM 4L60E, there's a separator plate between the main body and the bottom part when you take the valve body down. And there's a steel separator plate. And when you buy a shift kit, the separator plate has holes in different places to change the way the fluid runs through it to make it shift better. And if he put a stock plate back in and not my my shift kit plate, that's probably why it's not shifting right. So I just need to call him and tell him that and see what he wants to do. He'll probably just say, you know, he'll probably just get a Mr. Transmission shift kit and have me bring it down there. It won't take long to drop the pan, drop the valve body, and move a couple of balls, and you put that plate in. And there's a couple. You change a spring on a couple of different valves, but I don't know that he would have changed those. I don't know. But I'm gonna call him and ask him and see what we can do. I mean, it works the way it is. It just doesn't work the way I want it to work. The way I gave him the tranny, it shifted perfect. All he had to do is reseal it. So I don't know why it's different. And we didn't get into that part of the discussion. But when he remembered the tranny, and when he told me, you know, he was describing all the parts in it, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. You definitely, that's my tranny. He says, yeah, I remember rebuilding that. I said, okay. So, but I haven't had a chance to call him. I mean, I've been busy with other shit. Doctors and, oh, God. Roy! What's up? How you doing, man? So, you weren't here earlier, Roy. And I know you'll be interested. I took my Pontiac G8 to the drag strip last night. Just test and tune night, Oh, this was interesting. I don't know if any of you guys have ever gone to a drag strip and raced your car or not. But in my past, you always have to take the car to tech. And somebody just, you open the hood, they make sure the battery's strapped in tight. They get underneath and they look to see if you got any oil leaks or anything. Nothing too serious. I mean, if it was a, pro stock car, they'd probably do a more thorough inspection. But, for a street car, they just want to make sure you're not dripping anything, no leaks, the battery's in tight, and they just give it a cursory look around and just make sure it looks good, and you're good to go. No inspection at all last night. Nothing. Just you pay your $30 and they just wave you in, and that's it. Yeah. You could be rolling in there with the biggest piece of crap with training fluid pouring out of it, and until you get to the start line, and one of the guys on the line tells you, "Oh, hey, back up! You ain't no, you ain't running. You're leaking. Something." And that happens sometimes because guys are running their air conditioning, and and the drain hose is dripping, and you can't have your air conditioning running, so they'll back you off until you turn your air off and let the hose drain out, and then you can make your run. But no inspection last night. So I was kind of that shocked me. There were a lot of cars there, pretty but not a lot of running. Each car, 2 or 3 passes, that's it. And they put them back on the trailer, or park them and just watch. So it wasn't hard to hot lap it at all if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. So I didn't want to beat it up. And like I said, I got there and the coolant temperature sensor had failed at the traffic light before I got there, for God only knows what reason. The car is ice cold. Everything's working. Nothing's leaking. I don't know why the coolant light came on. No coolant temp at all. Not on the. I can put the car into what they call not maintenance, but something like that. Oh, engineering. They call it engineering mode. If you hold this button down while you start it, it'll put it in engineering mode, and then I can go down the list of, the battery charge life, the battery voltage. There's all these digital scales I can look at while the car's running, but no oil pressure light. So, but I went to, my temperature gauge is 0, so I went to the temperature on the engineering thing, and it's also 0. I'm like, why don't I have a temperature? How hot's the car running? I have no idea. I mean, I knew it wasn't hot because I opened the hood and it's like, the plastic stuff and everything is cold, So I knew the car wasn't overheating. I knew it had water in it. It's not, So I just, so I ran it anyway, And after 2 runs, it was getting hot. So I shut it down and let it cool down. And, for probably half an hour. And then I went out and made one more run. And then I just decided that, it was getting later. Dew was starting to get, the track conditions were going away. It wasn't going to go any faster, so I decided not to run it anymore. No point in it. But yeah, Tim, what's up? How you doing, man? So anyway, the car did okay. A few things. I was pretty happy about. A few things not happy about. The transmission's not shifting right in the Pontiac either. The 2-3 shift is terrible. The 1-2 shift's good, but the 2-3 shift's no good. So I tried run, letting it shift automatic, and then I tried the second run. I tried manually shifting it, and that didn't work at all. So the third run, I went back to the automatic. The 60-foot time was pretty good, considering on street tires, it ran a 2:03 60-foot time, which is not great, but for a street car, it's pretty good. I mean, it was way better than the cars I've been running. The 3 cars I ran, Well, I take that back. The Jeep, the SRT8 Jeep was quicker than me. It's four-wheel drive. So his 60 foot was better than mine. But in four-wheel drive, he only had a 171. My Impala's run on the nitrous ran a 158. So my Impala's got a better 60 foot time than a all-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee with a 6.1 Hemi in it. You know, so anyway, but 203 wasn't too bad on street tires. I do have a set of drag radials. I haven't put them on wheels yet, so I wouldn't run those. Hadn't raced in 12 years and still cut a .03 light reaction time, so I was pretty happy with that. Haven't forgot how to do this, and the car ran an 890 at 81 miles an hour, so not bad. The car really is faster in the top end than the bottom. It's it's fairly quick for a street car. I mean, it really is, but it's really fast on the top end. Good God, that thing gets to 100 miles an hour quick. If it wouldn't have taken about another 2 seconds to go from 80 to 100. Because right there is where it's really starting to run, and of course I'm shutting it down right there. So yeah, the Kawasaki took to the drag, so yeah. No, I've got several cars here. I've got the Daytona I'm going to take, the Super B I'm going to take. My Impala's going to go back. I'm going to modify my one wagon. That's and I just bought another nitrous setup to put in the wagon. Actually, I'm going to put it in the Impala first. I'm going to run dual bottles in the Impala, and then I'm going to take just to set a number. And then while I'm painting the Impala for the next year, I'm going to take the system out of that and put it in the wagon, and then run the nitrous in the wagon, and then the G8. So yeah, I've got five cars here I'm going to be taking to the strip. So yeah, that's one of the beauties of the Impala programming. I haven't played with the G8. I just got the G8. But I can tune the transmission and the engine on my computer to make it shift better and harder and change fuel curves, and I can do all that in the Impala on my computer. So that makes that car really fun to play with. I haven't done anything to the Dodges yet or the G8 because I haven't. They're all pretty new. I mean, I've only had the Dodge products for about 8 months. Maybe 9 now, and I've only had the Pontiac for a month. So yeah, so those are all new to me. But I've been racing the Impalas for 20 years. So yeah, that one I know. So, but yeah, anyway, Michael Bear, what's up? Hey, it's about time you got here. You asked for it. You wanted to see my cars painted. They're painted. Okay? Here we go. Here's the Crysler 300 painted. Let me bring my pedestal over here. There it is. Okay? So, there it is painted. All right? You wanted it painted. You want to see some paint on these things. There you go. So there's the grill work, and I'll give you a little close up on the canards on the front there, right on the front of the bumper cover. Those are little wings, downforce wings on the front there because it's an SRT8, and then the big wheels, the rotors and calipers are inside the wheels, and then. And this isn't anywhere. This isn't even near the final paint job. This is. I threw this on here because I want to. I'm at the point on this one to just wet sand it to smooth it out, and then put the final coat of paint on it. So this is a base coat to get just wet sand it smooth. Okay, and then I did the Pontiac in the blue. This is a little darker than the blue I wanted to put on it, so I might have to change this to a lighter blue. But same thing. This is not the final coat, but this is a base coat to sand it, and I'm going to put some putty on this. I gotta put some of that finishing putty on this, and then sand that off while I'm smoothing out the whole thing, and then this will get a final coat of paint. Or maybe one more base coat that I'll wet sand that one, and then a final paint, coat. This one though, the final coat's going to be that metal cast. So it's like a candy apple clear coat that I'll put on this to give it that really bright shine in a blue. It's a really pretty blue. I think I found I think there's a file out there for a ridgeline. Let me look. I think I found that. Let me go see if that's out there. I think there was. I think I did look that up once already. Let me look. Yeah, there is a file out here. I can print you one. Let me see if it's a removable wheel file or not. I hope it is. Ah, crap. It doesn't look like it is. Well, it'll work anyway. I mean, you can do it. I like the ones where you can take the wheels off better, but yeah, it doesn't look. Let me look around. Hang on a minute. Let's see if there's. Oh, that was stupid. How come it didn't save that? Looks like maybe that's the only one. Well, at least there's something out there, but yeah, it looks like there's only one. Yeah, hell, there's only 2 pages. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's it's not a very detailed file, but a little paint work will make it look good. You can definitely do some um, nice tuning, with paint to get the details that may not be exactly in the model itself. I'll put it on the screen for you here. Hang on a minute. Let's go to window capture. Okay. Okay, so there it is. Oh, I don't know the difference between them. Is this a first gen or second gen? What's yours? First gen or second gen? I'm assuming yours is a second gen since it's new. Well, it's right though. Yours isn't brand new. What year is yours? Oh, damn it. We're back to that. Hang on a minute. I can't do it that way. I have to leave it. Okay, let me go back here. Hang on. I gotta do that. And then we gotta go back up here. Well, oh, let me go here. I can fix this. Hold on a minute. I know how to do this. Okay, now I can fix it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now is that a first gen or second gen? I don't know. And what do you have? Because I'm not sure. A Pontiac Aztec? No. The Aztec was SUV, not a pickup truck. I think, wasn't it? An Aztec file? Where have you looked, Phil? Oh, so yours is an '07. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is a first gen. Okay, good. All right. All right, let me you know what? Hang on a minute. Let me go do another search here. Um me go here. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't even looked for an avalanche, and I own one. And I haven't even looked to see if there's a avalanche file out there. Wow. What happened to that website? Well, that sucks. Okay, let me try a different one. That's really weird. Nope, I found a Chevy Avalanche. That's out here. And I think that one has removable wheels, come to think of it. Wow, that is a rough casting, though. No, I don't think that has removable wheels. Wow, that's a rough one. Woo! Holy crap. Let's go back. Come on, why won't you do? Boy, I'll tell you, they are just screwing this stuff up right and left. They can't leave nothing alone. God. I don't know, you guys. You know, they took away the back button. You know, and it's there, but it's hidden. You know, why are they doing this stuff? Why can't they just leave shit alone? God, they're just driving me nuts. They really are. Okay, yeah. So there's only one Chevy Avalanche file. And it looks like an avalanche, but it's pretty rough. The surface quality is very rough. That's going to take a shitload of work to make that look good. Wow. Let's see if they have the Aztec. Okay, well they have a kindergarten Aztec out here. Yeah, it's a oh my god, that is hilarious. Yeah, it's a little SUV kind of. It looks like a romper room Aztec, but there's one out here. Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is really funny. Oh my god, that is so funny. Yeah. Yeah, so Yegi is down. That website's down right now. Yegi is a search engine that checks all the search engines for something you're looking for, whether it's a free print or a paper print. And it looks on all the different websites for anything. And Yegi's down right now, so I can't use that one. But Yeah, there's an Aztec and an Avalanche out here, and they're both pretty ridiculous. Oh my god. All right, hang on a minute. I'll show you the Aztec first. This is hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, hold on a minute here. Let me go here. Change this. Okay, are you ready for this guy? And here's your Aztec. uh, uh, I'm sure that's not what you were looking for, but there you go. Okay, and then I'll show you the Avalanche. The Avalanche is much better looking than that, but still not a great file, but better than that. Oh my god, that's the stupidest looking Aztec. Of course, you know, if you were printing it for your kid, he'd probably think that was cute, but yeah, that's pretty horrible. Okay, here's the Avalanche. Let me center it up here a little bit. Okay, and then there's that's the Avalanche. So, yeah, they make them. I wouldn't give either one of them a big, a 5-star review or nothing, but yeah. So that's the Avalanche. I mean, that looks like an Avalanche. It just looks very fuzzy. So I don't know if it's going to print smooth or if you're going to have a whole lot of sanding and filling. What are you passing regularly with their 4-ways on, Phil? It's got to be a Ford product, right? Oh, I know. Don't you love guys with trucks that have to crawl over a speed bump? Are you fucking kidding me? What do you think you're gonna break it or something? They're so delicate going over a damn or railroad tracks. Those are even worse. When a fucking truck like that, my Avalanche or something, stops at railroad tracks. Are you fucking kidding me? Can we look at something else? Yeah, absolutely. I guess I even rank better than that, right? So we'll. Oh, that's funny. Oh. Oh yeah, God, the new flight simulator is amazing. Oh hey, my Deb told me that Target's got computers on sale right now. I might have to go go take a look at that. You'd rather look at my face in the ridgeline? Oh, the ridgeline wasn't bad looking. It was a lot better looking than the other two. That Aztec was horrible. All right, guys, I gotta go drop something off at the pool here. So give me a minute. I'll let me give you something to talk about. We'll put let's put the Crysler up here. You guys can critique that while I'm gone. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. Yeah, that says it all. All right, I'll be back in a minute, guys. Ah. Okay. Oh, God. Got my caffeine-free Diet Coke. The drink of champions. Okay. Is that one of your wife's cars, Michael? The 58 Speedster? I know she has quite the collection. If you all blow on the screen, you can make your prop spin. Okay, guys. All right, go ahead. Get blowing. Let's all together now. All right, 1, 2, 3. Blow. Hey, it almost worked. You didn't all blow. Let's try it again. All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Blow. There it goes. You guys are good. That's teamwork. Nice job, guys. Oh my god. All right, we're gonna do another unboxing, guys. All right, since I have 2 things I've had for a long time, and I haven't unboxed either one of them. So I'm gonna go get them. So hang tight for a second. Okay. Box number 1. Who can guess what this might be? Let me move these out of the way. There we go. They came out with a Tundra profile. Is that a flight test plane, Michael? It was a Tundra John unboxed. Okay, it's an E-Flite Timber profile plane, or it's a Tundra unboxing profile plane. We have some fighting amongst the ranks here. So we don't know which it is, huh? Yeah, another timber, which is, we absolutely needed another timber. All right, so I haven't opened this. Of course, obviously, I know what's in it, but I thought maybe you guys would like to see what's in it for you non-racers. So we're gonna pop this open. Okay, so this end's stapled. I don't know which end's the top. I'm going to go with this end. Warning. All right, there's a warning label on this side. Let's, open other end. Probably. Oh, Christ, I can't read that. What the fuck? Hang on a minute. I might be able to read if I do this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's just, it's a nitrous kit. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Okay. Did my bottle make it without a dent? Let's take a look. Yes, it did. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. So there's a new nitrous bottle. Okay. Yeah, didn't know I was a scuba diver, did you? Yeah. Couple of Nitrous Express decals. Okay, so what do you get with a bottle kit like this? Okay, so you get two bottle brackets. All right, so you screw this to the trunk of your car or wherever you're going to mount the bottle, and then this is a T-lock strap. What's going on here? What the hell's going on? Oh, I don't think that's right. I think somebody screwed the pooch on that one. Yeah, I don't think that's right. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I guess it's right if you put the other piece in. There's a wing nut in here. Okay. So what you get in here is you get all these jets. There's a couple of switches here. And a bunch of different sized jets. You get a little table that tells you what jet goes with what what fuel jet goes with what nitrous jet to get the proper mixture. And here's a very long nitrous line. And then these are the short lines that go from the solenoids, which are here. You've got a nitrous solenoid and a fuel solenoid. And then these go to, from the solenoids to the, there's a Y valve. And I'll show you that here. It should be in here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so the design of this is what makes Nitrous Express my favorite. The way this is machined in here creates the atomization of the nitrous and the fuel coming in these two ports here. Let me hold it in front of this bottle. Maybe that'll make it easier to see it. So you put this in the pipe in front of the intake, right in front of the throttle body. It has to be past the mass airflow sensor. You don't want to spray into the mass airflow sensor. So you put it between the mass airflow and the throttle body, about 8 inches, and from the throttle body. And that puts the right amount of fuel nitrous mixture, atomized to perfection, into the intake, which gets distributed to all the cylinders evenly. And you put the jets in here, and you adjust the jets to what you want. How big a hit do you want? Okay. So I already have this exact kit on the Impala, and I'm going to add a second kit. And then after I set a number with the Impala, I'm going to take the kit off the Impala and put it in the wagon. And that'll probably stay in the wagon. And after I get the Impala painted, I'll probably buy 2 new kits to put in the Impala. But right now, the Impala is going to be down. It's going to be down for a little while I paint it. So these 2 brackets sit in your trunk, and one's higher than the other on purpose. You want the tank tilted down because there's a straw going all the way to the bottom of the bottle, and it picks up the nitrous from the bottom. So you put the bottle in at an angle to make sure it goes to the bottom, because nitrous in the bottle is a liquid, and as it goes through the line, it converts to a gas. So you want to pick the liquid up. All right, so that's how that works. These screw onto here. Of course, you have to put the nozzle in here. Yeah, there's a fitting that goes in there between. And there's a couple of switches here, to power the bottle on. I don't have the heater. That's a separate kit you buy. I haven't bought that yet. But there's a blanket you put on the bottle to heat it. Okay? And Daytona 2030. Hanger Fiftyone Racing wins. Because I'm cheating. I'm using nitrous. Hey, they've all used it, back in the day. Yeah, that'd be great, guys. Hell, yeah, if you guys sponsored me, I really could do this. Anyway, so I haven't opened this kit, and I needed to because I need to make sure it wasn't damaged. You know, because if this had been broken off or the bottle was damaged, you know, I've had it long enough that they'd probably give me some static about waiting this long to, you know, complain. So it's a good thing it's in good shape. So, boy, this has gotten expensive though. I haven't checked around yet, but there's a guy at the track that they'll fill this bottle, but he wants $10 a pound. This is a 10-pound bottle. It's $100 to fill each bottle. Yikes. Now, in the 8th mile, I could probably easily get 10 runs on the 2 bottles. And if I only do like 3 a night, then I could go for like 3 weeks. So maybe once a month, it's going to cost me $200 to fill the bottles, depending on how often I go. I don't plan on going that often right now. Can't afford to spend the money on the nitrous. Can't afford to break the car. You know, and you know when you start going this fast, the faster you go, the more you break. It's that simple. But anyway, so I wanted to get this. Now I got a box that had even longer. And I think you guys will like this, but it's not a. It's more in the realm of tools than race equipment. Let's put it that way. I think it's pretty cool, and I got a really good deal on it. But I haven't opened it, and I've been dying to open it. So I'm gonna go get it. We're gonna open that tonight too. Why not? What the hell? Can't dance. Why not? Let's open a box. All right. So I think, yeah, that's everything that was in there. It used to only cost me $20 to fill the 10-pound bottle. Okay, that was very cheap. Okay, that, you know, now supercharging or turboing it might be a bigger number in the beginning, but you know, at $200 a month, $2,000 for 10, you know, basically a year. Could damn near pay for a blower or a turbo in a year, and then I'd be racing for free. So before, when it was $20, it was no, you know, only one bottle and $20. Yeah, so big difference. I might have to start looking into putting a turbo on the car or a blower. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. I've always been a big fan of nitrous because how cheap it was. But now I haven't checked to see if I can go to a race shop and how much they're charging to refill a bottle. I'm sure this guy's probably charging a premium because he's doing it at the racetrack. So we'll have to find out. I gotta see. You know, hell, I might just become a nitrous dealer if there's nobody around here that will, you know, fill bottles. Other than the guy that's at the racetrack, I might have to open a nitrous business here just to make it affordable for me to do it. So, all right, let me go get the other box. It's a bigger box. Okay. Alright, who wants to guess what's in this box? Any guesses? Came from Jegs. In case you can't see that right here. Okay, so that's a hint. There's two things in this box. All right, Mike Nolan, you said Garrett screwed the pooch. Are you talking about Cletus? Garrett Mitchell? And how did he screw the pooch? I'd like you to elaborate, please. In the meantime, who wants to guess what's in the box? A new guitar. Right size box. Good guess, Phil. Yeah. I don't think Jegs sells guitars though, but good guess. Coming from a musician that why what would I think you'd come up with anything else? Oh my god, that's funny. Radiator. Hey, that's not a bad good. That's a pretty good guess, Gino. No, not a radiator, but box-wise, yeah, that's not a bad guess. Very good. That's definitely not a bad guess. Okay, you guys are going to learn something tonight because I bet none of you knew this. Whenever you get something shipped to you that has these plastic straps on them, these kind of straps, you don't need to cut them. All right? All you have to do is flip this upside down like this. All right? Just turn it over and grab the inside one and pull, and it comes right off. You can't pull the outside one. It won't. You can't. You know, it won't come off. But if you flip it up inside out, so the underside one, and grab a hold of that, it comes right apart. So I'll bet you guys didn't know that. So next time you get something delivered with one of those, don't go looking for a sharp knife. You don't need it. More fun to cut it. Well, that could be true, Jeff. But in case you forget your knife or you can't find your knife, just remember that if you just turn it inside out, you don't need the knife. You can just pull it. But yeah, if you want to use a knife, that's fine. You know. Okay, we had another guess. It was, what was it? It was a... you use your teeth. Oh, God, wigs. Air cleaner. No, not an air cleaner. Think more of a tool. Toolish. It's not a part for a car. It's something to use while working on a car. All right, how about that for a hint? An undercar dolly. Trolley. Okay. Caddy. Yeah. Those could be acceptable answers, I guess. Where you are, that's might what they call it. We call it a creeper here in the U.S. But a trolley is probably what you guys call it. So that's part of it, though. It's not the whole thing. There's two things in here. Yeah, creeper. Yeah, yeah. There's something else in here too, though. Not just a creeper. What else? What else could you use? What problem are you having, Roy? Creeper with a motor and a pillow. No, idiot. It came with nitrous. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got a fast creeper. No, no, it's a rolling stool. Something you sit on, not lay on, but a stool with casters on it, so you can roll around while you're sitting. Um, they came as they're both Jegs brand. I guess they're going to have Jegs logos on them, and but I bought a lift. I don't need to lay down under a car anymore. So I bought this before I bought the lift. I haven't unboxed it. Yeah, a stool. Yeah, yeah, stool, a rolling stool. I think this stool has a. I think it has a back on it, if I remember right. I'm not sure. Okay, so the first part out's a tray for parts and tools. What's this? This is some kind of I don't know what that is. I think this particular creeper has the back folds up. You can elevate your head like a what do they call that bed the adjustable bed? I think this has that if I remember right. It's been so long since I bought this, I forgot what it was. But I think it folds and has that adjustment for propping your head up, so you don't have to lay flat. And of course, it has to be assembled. So. I know I'm gonna screw up my brand new airplane here. I just know it. Let me set that over there. Hopefully it's gonna be out of the way. Here's the pillow, for your head. Okay. So you guys were partly right. Yep. Yeah. There it is. There's the pillow. Actually, that's not the pillow. What the hell? I wonder what that is. The pillow is still attached to the creeper. Well, I don't even have to put the wheels on this. I'm surprised. I thought I was going to have to assemble this. Apparently, I have to assemble the stool, but I don't have to assemble the creepers all together. that's kind of interesting. So here's the creeper. And of course it says Jegs on it, right? And then here's the headpiece that's adjustable. So I can prop my head up. I'm not exactly sure how that's supposed to work, but it's got some kind of release handle there. There you go. I guess that's, yeah, so there you go. The casters are already on it. It's a 6-caster deal. Alright, so that's kind of cool. Like I said though, I don't know when I'm going to need this anymore because I bought a lift. So I don't really need a creeper anymore. It was it was on sale. It was $100 for the creeper and the stool, you know, together. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. So that's why I bought it. I thought, you know. Now I have another creeper from the Mack tool truck that's got the 6 wheels on it, but they're staggered. Because you know when you're rolling straight onto a seam in the concrete and both wheels hit at the same time, you know, it's a pretty hard thud. But when they're tapered, you know, or they're offset, then it goes thump 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 thump. You know, they don't hit at the same time and really jar you. So these are going to hit at the same time. This one's symmetrical, but the other one I have is it's a plastic rolled to the shape of your body bed, not padded, and but it's low slung just like this one. So you're not up on top of the wheels; you're laying in between the wheels. So, but that's pretty nice. I like that. It's a nice nice looking creeper. I'll tell you what I use creepers for more than anything is furniture dollies, moving stuff around, cabinets, furniture, whatever. That's what I use my dollies for most of the time. Rarely do I ever, you know, especially here doing an oil change under the car. I couldn't use this. I was out in the grass. You can't roll one of these around in the grass. So, you know, so I really didn't get opportunity to even use my other creeper. And then I have an old original one made of wood. It looks like an old sled, a wood sled from the 60s. I have one of those yet too. You know, the one with those offset crazy looking wheels that are they're just a round steel wheel that's like at a 45 angle and they spin around, and those are the craziest damn wheels I've ever seen in my life, but they work, you know. So all right, I'm gonna go put this out in the garage for a minute because I'm afraid I'm gonna drop it on an airplane here. So I put it out under the Impala to get it out of the way. So it's under a car already, and I'm not on it. Okay, so here's the rest of the parts to build the stool. And that's it. The box is empty. Let me get all this crap out of here. What I don't see here is instructions how to put this thing together. Maybe this is them. Let me look. Yeah, here they are. Okay. I didn't see this before, but here's the instructions. Ah, okay. So this is the seat for your butt on the roll around stool. That's what this is. All right. And those are the frameworks. The tray, the second tray like a drawer tray. Wow. Here are the wheels. Here are the bolts to put it together. Well, it sure looks like there's a hell of a lot more bolts in the picture here than what's in these bags. Because there's only 4 bolts here that are supposed to hold all this together. Oh wait, there's 6 bolts. But 2 of the bolts don't have nuts, they're just bolts. You know, how the hell is that going to work? I mean, something on here's got threads in it, I guess. Anyway, alright. Yeah, this is a slider, a sliding drawer. Yeah, look at that. It's got drawer slides on it. So this drawer opens and closes under the seat. Wow, look at that. Yeah, this is a drawer slide here. Oh, isn't that interesting? Wow. Kind of cool. That's really what I bought it for. I wanted the stool more than I wanted the creeper. I do have a lift, Mike. That's what I've been saying. Yeah, I'm laughing that I bought a creeper and a stool, and I have a lift. I don't. I'll tell you what I was planning on using the stool for. Okay. I thought it would be handy, but I don't think it's going to be tall enough to work underneath the floor when I was putting all the. I haven't finished putting them in yet. All the stringers underneath the floor area of the living area. You know, the strapping. I thought I could roll around on this cart under there doing the strapping. I also thought about working on a car. If I wanted to sit under the car and work instead of standing, I could sit on the stool and bring the lift down to my level so I could sit on the stool and run around under the car working on it. So that was my other thought with the stool. The creeper was kind of a, oh, what the hell, it comes with the stool, you know. But I didn't think I was going to have much use for the creeper. But I thought the stool would be handy. So, anyway. It was only $100 for the 2. And I thought that was a pretty good deal. I think I paid more than $100 for the plastic creeper I bought off the Mack truck. So, I think this was cheaper. It says Jegs on it in real cool lettering. You know. I also bought a Jegs front license plate because my Daytona has a license plate frame on it. The one Daytona does. The Super Bee does not, and the other Daytona does not. But the Daytona I'm driving has a license plate frame on it. It's a black frame, a yellow car. So I bought a license plate that's a black plate with the yellow Jegs. It looks just like this. I thought that would look pretty good on my yellow car on the front in the license plate frame. So I bought a license plate to put on there. I haven't put it on yet, though. Well, Craig, it depends on which way you're trying to leverage. Yeah, if you're leveraged side to side, you're right. But if you're leveraging up and down, you mostly up. You know, you have plenty of leverage. You know, if you're pushing up, um, pulling down, well, you end up pulling yourself off the stool unless you know, if you're really trying to pull something heavy. Um, but yeah, like I said, I use it more for moving things around. You know, furniture, toolboxes, heavy equipment. I can tell you what this is going to come in real handy for. If you guys remember, I bought a brake lathe. And I know, Craig, you know how heavy those things are. Um, and it's still in the trailer because I needed a couple creepers and probably some help to get that bitch out of the trailer. So, but yeah, I bought a brake lathe. So, you know, damn near fully stocked independent shop. If I have a wheel alignment, if I get a wheel alignment machine, I got everything I need to do everything. That's all I. That's the last thing I need is a wheel alignment machine. And the guy I bought the lathe from has one for sale, so I just might go back down there and buy it. Um, I'm not sure um, if I want to go that route or not, but I might. I need to call him and find out how much he wants for it, if he still has it. He had two of them. He bought this shop equipped. It came with everything in it, and all they do is transmission work. So he doesn't need a wheel alignment machine. He doesn't need a brake lathe. He doesn't need half the tools in that shop because all they're going to do is transmissions. So, so I'll have to see if he still has the wheel alignment and how much he wants for it. No, it's a Acme. You know, the standard Acme lathe that everybody has. You know, the blue and red came with the tool holder board. You know, the rack to hold all the tools and everything. Came with all the tools. I've already used it. You know, the same guy with the Impala that I did all that work for. I had to cut his rotors for him, and so I bought a brake lathe to save him the money of buying brand new brake rotors. That's not the only reason I bought it, and I did buy it pretty cheap. But um, years ago, I had bought a set of Inky wheels for my Impala, and the offset was wrong, and I knew I could fix it on a brake lathe, and I did. I borrowed my buddy's shop that I used to run for him. He lets me use his stuff, so I mounted the wheels on the brake lathe, and I cut the welds on the back side of the wheel right up to the finish of the hoop. And then I just took a torch, and while it was spinning, while the motor had the wheel spinning, I just torched the wheel in the center. And then as soon as I stopped the lathe and had the torch in one spot for not more than a second, we heard this big pop, and it let go. And I took the outer hoop right off the hub, you know, the center. And then I did the other one, and he thought I was crazy. The guy that owned the shop, he's looking at me like, that ain't gonna work. And I go, yeah, it is. Watch. And it worked perfect. And he says, well, how you gonna move that in now? I says, well, I'm gonna take it over to the welder, and I'm gonna have him put on the legs the 5-star um, hub. I'm gonna have him weld, you know, metal on it off the ends of each thing, and then I'm going to put it back in the brake lathe, and I'm going to turn it to the size I need it because the wheel tapered out as it, you know, and I had to move the wheel. I had to move the hoop outward. Okay, um, it was in too far. because it was made for a narrower car. And as the ring, the hoop came out, it got bigger. So I had to make the hub bigger, okay? And we're talking, you know, 1/8 of an inch. We're not talking a lot. So I went over there and I just had him weld, you know, like a 2-inch piece on each of the 5 fingers. Put it back in the lathe, lathed it to the size I need, and I kept test fitting it until I got it where I wanted it. And then I took a rubber mallet and put the hoop on, and I just started tapping it and running it on the machine until it was, tight fit and perfectly straight. It's running absolutely straight, and I've jammed it on, a nice interference fit, and made sure it was running absolutely true. And then took it off, did the other one, and then I took him over to the welder and I said, okay, weld them. And he did, and it came out perfect. And then I took him over to my buddy and had them powder coated back to the original color, and they're perfect. And now they fit any Impala or an ex-police car. They'll fit on both. The way they were before, they would only fit the police car. If you put them on the Impala, they would hang out of the wheel opening about 1/2 an inch, which causes a tire interference. You'll get the tire will rub the fender and cut the tire. So, but just moving it in, I think 5/8 of an inch, maybe something like that, is all I had to do, and now they'll fit either car. On the police car, they're in a little farther than normal, but they fit. They won't rub anything. They fit good. And so I wanted them to fit both cars, because I had both cars. I had a 9C1, a police car, and an Impala, and I wanted to be able to put those wheels on either car. So that worked out perfect. Even the welder at first thought I was nuts. He says, I don't know. He says, I don't know if I can do this. He said, he's a good welder, but he wasn't sure of himself. So, and he has Miller welding equipment. So he called the Miller rep guy up and he told him what he needed to do. And the guy says, no, bro, you got everything you need to do it. And he's like, I do? And he says, yeah. And he came over and he showed him what to do, how to weld them things. And, at first he told me, listen, you're not going to go like autocrossing or road racing or anything with these wheels, are you? No, I'm just going to, I said, no, they're just street wheels. But he was kind of concerned. And after the Miller guy showed him how to weld them, he says, you can do anything you want with those wheels. They ain't going nowhere. I said, okay. That's what I wanted to hear. So, they came out great. But both the mechanic, when I was cutting them on the lathe, and my welder both thought I was nuts, that this wasn't going to work. And I knew it was going to work. Hell, I could have welded it myself. I'm no welder. I mean, I can weld, but they wouldn't have been pretty. But the welds would have been on the inside of the wheels, so nobody'd see them anyway. But I wanted them professionally welded. I didn't trust myself on that one. If push came to shove, I would have had to do it, but I didn't have to do it. My only drawback now is that was probably 10 years ago that I did this. And I've lost track of that welder. So I don't know if I can find him. He closed up the shop he had. He was welding boat propellers. So I don't know if I could find him or not. I'm sure I could find another welder that would do it, but then I have to start over looking. But at least I have my own brake lathe now. If I need to cut wheels apart, I can do it. I know it works, and I have the machinery to do it. Plus, I can do my own brakes now. I can cut my own. I don't know if if you have drilled and slotted rotors and try to take them to an auto parts store that still cuts rotors, which O'Reilly's does, they won't cut them. They say it tears the machine up. It tears their bits up. They're full of shit. It doesn't fucking tear the bits up. I've been doing this thing for a long fucking time, man. It does not tear the bits up. But that's the excuse they give you because they want to sell you brand new rotors. So, and these were drilled and slotted rotors, so I cut them myself, no big deal. I've been cutting rotors for 40 years at least. So, nothing new. Yeah, the guy was buying the brake lathe from. He didn't even know how to work it. And I just looked at him and laughed. I said, "It's okay. I know how to work it." We tested it there. I want to make sure it worked. So yeah, it has the high speed, low speed setting. It works fine. It's a drum. It's a drum and rotor machine. It does both. So so anyway, yeah. And I'm retired. Buying all this equipment to do more work. You know, but I'm retired. That's all right. You know, for me, it's fun. It's not work, right? If you're, yeah, exactly right, Craig. They don't know how to work on cars. They don't know how to turn rotors and brake. They don't understand any of it. You know, if it's not on a computer screen, it says if it says this and this, do this. They don't know how. They have no clue. You know, they don't have a fucking clue, right? You know, old school guys like us, we're a dying breed. You know, that's why nobody will work on the Impala. Too old. We don't know how to work on it. You know, we can't hook a scan tool to it and have it diagnose the problem for us, so we can't fix it. Yeah, yeah, fixing tractors and snow blowers. There you go. So yeah, yeah. When I get everything done in here, and I'm all organized and the man cave's built and everything, I just might put a sign out front. You know, drums and rotors turned here. You know, might as well make the machine pay for itself. You know, to have people drop off their shit and I'll turn it for them and you know, I think they want $20 a rotor for cars and 30 for a truck is what they get, I think. So, you know. Uh, man, these instructions look complicated. I don't know, man. It's a lot more bolt looking stuff going on here than I have bolts for. I don't know what the hell I have to do to bolt this together. Oh, there's only two bolts that hold that on. Oh, those are the two bolts. Okay, that explains that. The two bolts I have in here that don't have nuts hold the seat to the upper rail. Okay, so that makes sense now. All right. So this is the base. Okay, and two wheels bolt here, and then the other two wheels bolt here at the bottom, here. Okay, and then these two holes here and here are what bolt the rest of the framework together for the seat. And that's these two small D rings. Okay, they bolt coming off of here this way. And then these are the drawer slides for the drawer. And then the seat, there's a hole in the top here where the seat bolts in. So yeah, this is a simple build. It looks more complicated on the paper, but after I took a good look at it, I figured it out pretty quick. It's a pretty simple build. Right, Craig. I'm not saying they're bad guys either. It's the training. Okay, it's the same thing with engineers. All right, so you know, there was nothing wrong or inefficient about, spraying fuel through a atomizer into the intake that distributes to all the cylinders. And then they went to, port injection where they put the one nozzle in each intake port. Okay, well that was fine too. But now they put it right in the combustion chamber. Well, now that was the stupidest thing you can do. That's what you need to do. Let's drill another hole that we have to keep compression under into the combustion chamber, and then let's put something as delicate as a fuel atomizer in that hole while fire and flame is going off inside that combustion chamber. Yeah, let's make the injector have to deal with that. And then let's see how long those live. That was the stupidest thing they ever did. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. So that's your engineers, okay? I don't know what kind of engineering. It's like the guy that graduated engineering school that made that walkover bridge that collapsed the first time they walked on. And a whole bunch of people walked across it and it collapsed the first time and killed all those people. Right? Yeah. And he graduated engineering school. Well, what the fuck did they teach him in school? All right? I mean, So yeah, it's that people are only as smart as the people teaching them. And if they ain't teaching them how to use tools and how to, old school technology, and then, what do they know how to fix? Just new stuff. Yeah, my advice to anybody, guys, today, if you're going to buy if you want a new car, lease it. Don't buy it. That way when it breaks, they have to fix it. You don't. If you're going to buy something to keep, it's got to be 2013 or older. I wouldn't buy anything newer than 2013. So, yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Exactly. Do you watch Jimmy's World, Phil? Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah. Yeah. Well, same thing. I mean, all the teachers that are our age, Craig, have all retired, right? So who's training them now? You know. So and they're just not getting good training. They're just parts changers. They look at the scan tool, replace this part, they replace it. Oh, that didn't fix it. But if that doesn't work, go to this part, replace it. And then you put that part in. Nope, that didn't fix it. Okay, well, if that didn't work, then go to this. That's how they fix cars today. And then the poor guy that owns the car gets a repair bill for all these parts. But this is the only one that really fixed it. That's the only one it needed. But you're going to pay for all the test parts till they got to that one. So now you owe for all of it. Yeah, that's terrific. Oh, golly. All right, guys. What else you want to talk about? We going to talk about airplanes at all tonight? Do we have any new airplanes out besides the profile timber? Did they release that this week? Because I looked on the page yesterday and I didn't see that. Not yesterday, Thursday. Hey, this is a Hobby King Nitrous Express kit because you have to go online for the instructions on how to install it. Yeah, yeah, I already know how to install it. Yeah, I'm good. But that's funny. There's a RPO code here to scan so you can get the instructions on how to install it. Yeah, we're both going to be 66 this year, Craig. What do you mean you're fucked on the electric fuck ups? Um, do you think you're lacking knowledge to work on new cars today? Hell, all you got to be able to do is read a scan tool. Fuck, you know, with all the knowledge, old school knowledge you have, plus reading a fucking scan tool, shit, you should be able to figure it out no problem. Honestly, you and I could read a scan tool and know the symptoms that the car's got and read what they're telling us to check, and we'd probably skip the first three. Now that's not going to work, and that's not going to work, and that might be the what we would figure it out. We wouldn't have to fucking put all these other parts on it first, because we would know that that's not going to fix it. That's not going to fix it. That might. Let's try that. What are you just? You think you're just too old now? What is it? So I got a problem with the Pontiac right now. I don't know how to fix. Been doing some troubleshooting, but I'm not getting anywhere. So I did a hard reset tonight. We'll see if that fixes it. I don't know why I don't have a temperature sensor reading. There doesn't appear to be a. There's no fuse. There's no. Um, I'm not getting a reading on the ECM or the mechanical gauge in the dash. Neither one of them is showing a temperature. I bought a new switch and plugged it in. I didn't install it in the engine. I just plugged it in to see if I got a reading off that. Nope, no reading off that either. No check engine light. No malfunction codes. There's nothing in the computer that says anything's malfunctioning. Okay. The computer has to know what temperature the car is to be able to, change the fuel curve accordingly, and yet it doesn't get a reading, and it still doesn't know if it doesn't recognize that there's a problem. So I'm really baffled on this one. Well, I don't think it's a cluster problem, Craig, because like I said, the computer doesn't see the signal either. Okay, I can look at both. If I put the car in engineering mode, it'll read what the ECM is reading, and I can go right down the list. And I went to coolant temperature, and it says 0. All right, so that's not anything to do with the cluster. The cluster's separate, and it's also reading 0. So they're both getting a 0 reading. From what I've read, of course, I don't know if it's right or not, but the cluster is supposed to be getting the signal directly from the sensor, not from the computer. Now, I don't know if I believe that or not, but it could be. But nonetheless, the computer is not getting a sensor reading. Okay? So it doesn't know how to adjust, the fuel curve for the temperature. And it doesn't know when to turn the cooling fans on. In my Impala, if I unplug the temperature sensor from the car, it waits 10 seconds and then both cooling fans come on because it's just trying to protect itself. It no longer has a reading of temperature, so it just automatically turns the fans on. The fans aren't running on the Pontiac, even though there's no sensor reading. So I'm really baffled. The fact that it doesn't give a reading and it doesn't think there's a problem is what I'm struggling with. If it doesn't have a reading, it should know it has a problem, and it doesn't. It doesn't know it has a problem because it's not trying to protect itself. So I haven't got a clue what's going on, unless the computer went bad. And that could possibly be what it is. I don't know. I don't know yet. It just happened last night late on the way to the racetrack, and I didn't spend today. I went and bought some stuff today, including a sensor, but I've only spent 10 minutes on it today. Been screwing with other stuff today, so I really didn't get much done on it today. So I'll look at it again tomorrow. Been watching YouTube videos trying to find. There's not much on YouTube about the G8, you know, and mostly what's on the YouTube about the G8 is from young kids that have no idea what they're talking about. So yeah, it's not. There's not much help out there at all on this car. So I'm gonna keep plugging along. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I just don't know. You know, it's not. It's obviously something. It's not obvious. You know, it's got to be something weird. The only thing I can think of at the moment, you know, you could think a bad wire. Yeah, but again, the computer should know it doesn't have a signal, and it should be recognizing that and set a code. You know, no coolant temperature. Or it should at least be kicking the fans on, you know, as a default because there's no temperature reading. You know, plugged in or unplugged, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care. So I'm thinking maybe the PCM, you know, took a shit. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, I'll figure it out, but you know, that's why I did the hard reset. I'm gonna hook the battery today. So I'm gonna hook the battery back up and then see if we get a reading. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, I'm not planning on doing a lot of that right now. I don't have the money or the time, so I'm not planning on going to the track regularly. You know, when I can work it in between the flying and mostly working on the garage. The garage is the first priority right now, so I get my car insurance straightened out, is to get the lift moved. So that's first thing. So, and I'm pretty close to having that ready. So I'm going to get that moved so I can take pictures of the car, the collector cars on the lift, under the lift, so that they know where the cars are in the garage. And then I can get my collector car insurance. And then after that, it's get back on finishing this. I started looking up 150 amp service to the garage. You know, how much that cable. Good God, it's going to cost me over $500 for the wire, you know, because it's got to be like 2 aught, 2 aught, 2 aught, and a 4 aught, about 55 feet long. And that's over $500 for that wire. Fuck. Yeah, that's going to be fun. And then I got to buy, a year and a half ago when I started building this thing, well, actually, yeah, it's only been a year and a half since I started actually building the interior. A fuse panel was like $98, and it came with five breakers in it. And that same panel today is $228. Holy shit! It doubled in price. Like, holy crap! So that threw me for a loop. I might have to look elsewhere for that. I'm going to look on Amazon. See if they have a Square D or an Eaton electrical box with breakers, because Home Depot and Lowe's went through the roof. And I can't believe it, because $98 before, and now it's $228. And I'm like, holy crap. I don't need a big box. Don't need a lot of circuits. It's, you know, pretty basic. I figure I'm going to need one 220 line for the welder and the air compressor, and then some maybe 5 more breakers, you know, for zones. You know, this room, like half this room, and then this wall and the outside wall to the garage area be on another breaker, and then upstairs would be on a breaker, and then the upstairs would be on a couple of breakers, and Yeah, I don't see it being a big deal. Yeah, some people don't have hobbies or projects. Yeah, those are weirdos. They live a pretty boring life, I got to tell you. Yeah, yeah, I know, Craig. Yeah, I'll figure it out though. It's not intimidating me at all. Car runs fine. It's not overheating or anything. I ran the car with the cap off the radiator, and I've got good coolant flow through it. So everything's doing its thing. It's just and it was working fine. I got all the way to the track. I mean, I literally was at the stoplight, and the track's right there. I mean, I can see the racetrack at the stoplight. You go straight through the light, and then you turn in the driveway to the track. And I'm sitting at the light, and all of a sudden, ding, 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 and I got a big X on the thing. Stop driving the car. Call dealer. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I'm checking the gauges, and the coolant gauge is 0. I'm like, what? There's no steam coming out of the hood. I didn't blow a hose or anything. I thought all the coolant ran out of it or something. No, no, no. Everything's fine. Running fine. So I pull in the racetrack, and I got the hood open. I'm looking around, and I don't see a damn thing. And I'm like, well, fuck. I don't know what the hell just happened, but your wife's hobby is talking on the phone. Yeah, yeah. It's hell. At least she's got that. My first wife had no hobbies. I think she read a book. She was a reader, I think. She did nothing. She came home from work, lay on the couch, and that was it. Read a book. She just had no ambition to do anything. When I opened the hobby shop, she told me she'd help me down there, and I said, listen, this is going to be, this is we got to commit. If we're going to open a hobby shop, we got to be there every day, whether we want to or not. We got to be there every day. We got to be open every day. And if people don't come in, we still got to open every day. It's a commitment. We got to make, okay, yeah, okay, I want to help. I'm going to do it. Okay. And then she did it for a month, and then said, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, go home. I'll see you later. So that's how that went. And she just had no interest in anything. She just started making shit up. Like, hey, let's go to the Renaissance Festival. What? You're not into medieval anything. Why are we going to a Renaissance Festival? Well, it's just something to do. Honey, I got plenty of things to do. I fly recreational airplanes. I'm racing cars. I'm running a hobby shop. I got all kinds of things to do. I don't need to make up new shit. I got plenty to do. What, you want to go to a Renaissance Festival? I mean, that's about the last thing on earth I want to go to. I mean, I have no interest in that at all. So, yeah, okay. You're trying to get your wife interested in printing vases. Have her call me. I'll tell her all about it. I'll get her hooked. Michael, you just need to buy a printer. It's only $279, okay? Put a couple rolls of filament in front of her and just show her how to do it, and it'll, trust me, she'll just go off on that. She'll find more shit to print and be ordering filament, and she'll be as happy as a pig in shit. I need to speak to the manager right now. Yeah, the Elegoo carbon, the Centauri carbon, man. Just buy that printer. and you can print all the shit you want. That thing's awesome. That printer came out about a year and a half too late. I mean, I love my K1C over there. It does a great job, but Christ, that was $500, and for $279 right now, what a deal! And it does a great job. My brother has that printer, and we printed on it while I was up there visiting him. And that son of a bitch does a great job. Oh my God, it's every bit as good as mine for half the money. So, yeah, unbelievable. You need to have it print this, Mike. This is, honest to God, when this comes off the printer just like this, it literally feels like jewelry. It's so, I mean, just running it through your hands, it feels like pearls. It really does. It's just amazing how this comes out, how it looks, how it feels. It's really amazing. And the detail on it's incredible. So, yeah, have her print one of these. That'll blow her mind. This is one of the first things I printed, on the new printer. When I got the K1C, I wasn't printing vases. I got enough of them from the old Ender 3. Yeah, I think this was the first thing I printed was one of these. And it was like, oh my God, that was the coolest thing ever. So, yeah. I enlarged it as big as I could get it on the platter and printed it. And that made it, I think it was a 5-hour print, but it took almost 4 days on the Ender to print a the one that's on if there's one on the printer over there that I printed on it, that it took almost 4 days to print. And it's not even a tenth the quality or detail as this one. It doesn't have scales on it. It doesn't have, he's not holding a ball in his hand. I can't see his eyes and his pupils. And Christ, it almost looks like he's got hair on him. It's unbelievable the detail that this printed compared to that. And this one took 5 hours, and that one took almost 4 days. So, just unbelievable. Yeah, this was. I mean, there's a lot of different files for dragons. I just liked this one. It was on a red background, and it was called a Chinese dragon, I think. And I just like the look of the face, the detail on the face. It's got fangs hanging out of its mouth and the teeth, and you can see its pupils. And I just was looking at the detail and the tail here with this, this very cool tail. So I just I really fell in love with this one. I said I got to print that. So that was one of the first things I printed on that printer when I got it was this. And I've printed, I don't know, 6 or 8 of these now in different colors. I've done a couple gold ones. I did a bronze one. I did one for Deb in that real light teal blue. I printed one of these for her in that color. The bronze one's there. I did one in brass too, which is that it's more orangey looking. I don't know where that one's at. Where's that one at? It's probably up here somewhere. Oh, that's it. Is that it? Yeah, I think this is it. This isn't the bronze one. This is the brass one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where the bronze. I don't know where the bronze one is. There's another gold one there. Another gold one. Wait a minute. Oh, here's the brass one. And here's the brown one. Okay, so yeah, look at. There's another gold one here. And there's a gold one over here. Yes, there's another gold one there. There's a gold one over there. I got a gold one on the table. This one's called red copper. Okay, it looks brown, but when the light reflects off of it, it's copper, and it turns red when you get the light to reflect off of it the right way. So that's the red copper. So we got the gold, the red copper. This is the brass. Okay, so this one looks almost orange. And this one's a little smaller. But that one's brass. And then this is the... I'm not positive what color this is. This one might have been printed on... because this one's purple on the bottom. You know, I think I printed this off the spool with the... you know, the multicolor that I printed the other batleth, you know, where it's multicolor, the rainbow color. I think I printed this with that. So the bottom of it's purple. You know, his belly's all purple, but the top is kind of an orange. So that one looks really cool too. So yeah, so I've printed at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've printed at least 7 of these dragons. in different colors. I haven't done a silver one yet. I can't find my roll of silver filament. Because that vase I printed, that real crazy one, I want to print that in silver. Because I think that'll look like a trophy. You know, like the NHL Cup, you know, the Stanley Cup. I think that'll kind of look like a Stanley Cup if I put it on a base. If I print a square base and then put that in if I print it in silver and put that vase on that, I think it'll look like a trophy. So that's what I'm thinking. You've been feeding him what? Sandies? Those cookies? Those like butter cookie kind of cookies? Is that what you're talking about? You're feeding those to your dog? Yeah, that's health food. Yeah, maybe I could fish for... Yeah, maybe these would make good fly fishing bait, you know, because they'd probably squiggle through the water, and that'd probably get something's attention for sure. Yeah, this is this is one of the coolest things I've ever printed. I got to tell you, I just can't believe how it does all these articulations automatically while it prints, and they're so precise. I mean, this is really something to look at. You got to hold it to appreciate it. You know, you got to feel it in your hand, how it just rolls over your hand. I feel it's just like pearls if when you're holding it. It just rolls through your hands just like pearls. It's crazy. It's really impressive. Ryan's going to be jealous? I don't think so. Ryan, Ryan just wants to print truck bodies. He's not interested in anything else. He's just printing truck bodies. Now, I'm the vase king, and he's the truck body king. You know. So. He prints some good stuff. Don't get me wrong. And he has a real, love for that patina look. He goes to great lengths to make them look old and rusty and beat up. And that's not my gig at all. I can appreciate the work. I mean, it's a lot of work, to turn a piece of plastic to look like an old rusty truck is an art for sure. But I'm more the shiny, new-looking truck. I don't want a patinaed one. That's just not my thing. But he really likes that, and it's not a lot of people like that. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just not me. I want something nice, new, and shiny. I don't want it to look like it's 100 years old and rusty. Yeah, that's not my jam. That's not what I'm looking for. So, yeah. Besides these dragons, and I don't know. I printed. I think 2 or 3 R2D2s. I printed 2 of the Doctor Who TARDISes. I printed 2. I've printed 3 or 4 Millennium Falcons. Trying to think what else. Probably 3 or 4. Eiffel Towers. I think I printed, 3 or 4 Oscars. I've got a small Oscar up there because I wanted to print one that would short enough to fit on the shelf. That's not life size. And then I printed 2 life size ones. Well, no, I printed more than 2. I think I printed 3 or 4 life size Oscars. And then these cars, I've printed 3 of these. I think I thought I printed one bigger than this, a Challenger, bigger than this one. Maybe not. I want to print a bigger one, but I don't think I have. Or if I swear I did. Is that somewhere else? Because this is 300, and I thought I printed a Challenger 300, but this is not 300. This is 250. All right, and how I know that is standing on end. 250 is as tall as I can go that will fit in these shelves. All right, that's 250, almost exactly. So I can print any vase, any statue, anything, but as long as it's, which is what the Anycubic goes to 250. The K1C will go to 270 vertical, but it only goes 230 on the bed. That's why I stand these up, because I can make them bigger. Yeah, the bed's only 230, but vertically it'll go 270. But this printer goes 300. So this is 300. And then I tried something different, which was a trade-off. See, this car, because I printed it straight up, didn't get this mess on the roof. Okay, that this round circle crap on the roof. The roof came out perfect because I printed it this direction, straight up. So that circle problem is on the grill and the bumper cover. But it was pretty easy to sand that off on the bumper cover. There's still a little bit of it there, but it was much easier to clean the bumper than the whole roof of the car, and that was deliberate. I did that on purpose. But on the Pontiac, I decided I could make it bigger than 300 if I put it on the because that's 300 by 300 by 300. If I put it on the bed diagonal instead of straight, I can only go 300. 300 or 300. But if I go diagonal, I got it to 340. So I made it even bigger by going diagonal. So that's why this one's even bigger yet. And that was an experiment to see how it came out. And then the nice thing is that it was bigger. The bad thing is that I got all this extra work to have to clean all this bad, top surface crap. Plus, it's a bad file. I mean, it's nowhere near as smooth as this file is. This came out really nice. This has got all these layer lines and imperfections in it, so which is no big deal. I can clean all that off of it just in paint, in post printing and pre painting. I can take fillers and paint and primer, paint, and get all filled in and smoothed out. But it's just extra work. I didn't have to work that hard on this car. So the drawback on this one though is the tail of the car. The back bumper is pretty bad shape. So this is going to because that's where the supports were. Okay. And that's going to require a lot of extra work. But the back of the car is pretty small, much smaller than the whole roof, hood, and trunk lid. So, but it's going to require some work. So we'll have to fix that. Most of my RCs already look beat up. Well. Okay, so, if you've got a clear body that's been painted from the inside, yeah, it rolls over and gets scratched up, but it doesn't make it look bad. The scratches are into the clear body. You got to screw it up really bad before that starts to look bad. The scratches are there, but, who cares? The paint and everything's on the inside. So it still looks good. But... yeah, it's I've got a shitload of RC cars. I mean, when I started thinking about all the RC cars I have, and I would say the majority of them are toy grade, but still, I have a shitload of RC cars. I mean, I think I have more RC cars than planes, believe it or not. And I never really thought about that because I wasn't considering, I think about the hobby grade stuff I've been buying. And I've bought a lot of that. But when I think back all the toy grade stuff I bought at Walmart, Toys R Us, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of this stuff. Craig, all right, man. We'll see you later. Have a great night. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I'm going to shut this down anyway. I got to go put a wheel sensor in my Pontiac so my ABS brakes will work. So I'm going to go work on my car. So what time is it anyway? It's got to be 12:30. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Oh, God, that's way past. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to call it. Great to see you guys. Hope you had fun tonight. I think we're having fun making fun of stuff. So, we'll catch you guys next week. All right. Have a great night. We'll see you later. And keep the rubber side down. Free skies and have a good time. All right. We'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks. See ya.